He is a national Russian hero who is always seen fighting for the glory of his country. Also known as the Red Cyclone, he is known to be a very fearless and tactical fighter who is prone to quick temperaments and is always very competitive. While Zangief has also shown himself to be rather gentle-natured with a good sense of humor, he carries a dark side that most of us don't know of. In this episode, the mystery behind Mech Zangief. Why was his character created? Why this robotic side of Zangief? Without further ado, let me welcome you to the Street Fighter verse. Mech Zangief is a character originating from the Marvel vs. Capcom series, first appearing in Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter as a secret fighter. In his story, Mech Zangief is a series of robotic weapons developed by Shadaloo, created specifically to combat Zangief. The initial model, known as P-Mech Zangief, the P standing for prototype, was created by modifying a monitor cyborg, giving it a steel body and teaching it numerous throwing attacks. Its body is coated with ceramic titanium and was designed to repel any attack. If you are wondering what a monitor cyborg is, well, Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, gives us a glimpse of what they are. The monitor cyborgs were created by Shadaloo scientist Senna. Their mission was to record various fights that happened around the world. This would locate the strongest fighters for M. Bison to turn them into his slaves. They have been around since the first Street Fighter, where Cyborg watched Sagat and Ryu battle in the finals. Other fights that were recorded by the cyborgs were Ken vs. T-Hawk, Dalsum vs. E. Honda, DJ vs. some street thugs, even though Chun-Li destroyed one of them, and even the final Ryu and M. Bison confrontation. This version of Zangief has many moves and variations, like for example, P-Mecha Zangief's signature technique is the Vodka fire, which is produced by utilizing a stream of vodka fuel that runs throughout his body, setting it alight into a high-temperature blue flame. However, due to Shadaloo's information on Zangief's attacks being outdated, the prototype model lacks a banishing energy ejection port on its palm, leaving it unable to replicate Zangief's banishing flat maneuver. Several upgrades were introduced into a later model, known simply as Mecha Zangief. Under Fang's direction, Shadaloo is currently developing a third model, known as Mecha Zangief MRK3. Mecha Zangief is an even slower version of Zangief who can't block. To compensate, he gains permanent super armor, and he takes reduced damage from enemy attacks. He also cannot be knocked down or stunned, taking only a slight slowdown when hit by almost anything. He loses the banishing flat, but he can use a Yoga Flame-like attack, the Vodka Fire. As a fun fact, the L ceramic titanium that coats P-Mecha Zangief's body is a reference to the ceratinium alloy created by Dr. Light from the Mega Man series, and also Mecha Zangief's slotted, metallic skin and red accents could be seen as a reference to Colossus, a Russian superhero from Marvel Comics, who often wears a red costume and has metallic, slotted skin. In addition to his debut appearance, Marvel vs. Capcom, Clash of Superheroes, gave Zangief the ability to transform into Mech Zangief through the Iron Body move, allowing him to stand a chance against much more speedy characters. He keeps this ability in the sequel. Mech Zangief appears again in Super Street Fighter 4 as an alternate costume for Zangief, with a more robotic look. He also appears in the background of the Street Fighter Tekken Cosmic Elevator stage. In Street Fighter V series, Mech Zangief appears as an alternate costume for Zangief in Street Fighter V Arcade Edition, and is obtainable through the game's extra battle mode. This version is referred to as Mecha Zangief MK3, which was previously referenced in the prototype Mecha Zangief's Shadaloo Combat Research Institute entry. In the Udon comics, Mech Zangief appears in Street Fighter Unlimited No. 10's backup story, where he and fellow non-canon Street Fighter character, Cyborg Akuma, battle Ken in the future. It is later revealed that the whole story was actually an unreleased video game, inspired by Street Fighter 2010, being played by Ken's son Mel. Zangief is known as the Red Cyclone, who is a professional wrestler from the former Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, known as Russia today. He is known for being a large but slow Street Fighter character, standing around 7 feet tall and weighing around 400 pounds. Zangief's style and design has a beard and a mohawk, with hair on its torso and shins. He wears red boots with gold trims. Later in the Street Fighter Alpha 2 series, Zangief was given a red cloak, in which he would take off before his fights. This cloak was accepted as part of his attire in the 1994 Street Fighter 2 animated movie, and in the Street Fighter Alpha, the movie. He carries the scars from multiple wrestling bouts with Usuri brown bears and Tamshika brown bears. Zangief was part of the original lineup in the Street Fighter II, The World Warrior, which came out in 1991. The initial roster of the Street Fighter II series included characters like Chun-Li, Ryu, and Ken. Zangief is portrayed as a Russian patriot, proud of his massive muscular build and strength. Even though he may look a strong character from the outside, according to the Street Fighter II Special Championship Edition, Zangief is described as good-natured, with a great sense of humor and totally fearless. In Zangief's interests, he enjoys Cossack dancing and eating borscht, which is a soup made with beets. The initial concept of Zangief was designed by Akira Yasuda from the Capcom game development team. Zangief's prototype name was sketched as Vodka Gobalski. His appearance was influenced heavily on professional wrestlers from the late 1980s and 1990s. Two of the most noticeable and respected wrestling figures by the names of Viktor Zangief and Ivan the Russian Bear Koloff. Viktor Zangief was born on May 26, 1962 in Kazakh Soviet Specialist Republic, part of the Soviet Union. He was a retired Soviet and Russian freestyle wrestler of Ossetian origin who wrestled professionally in Japan, where he became recognized by his wrestling career and was the inspiration for the creation of the Red Cyclone himself. In October 1994, he left UWFI and retired from professional wrestling. Another great inspiration for the creation of Zangief was Ivan Koloff, the Russian Bear. Ivan Koloff, born Oriol Donald Berras, was a Canadian professional wrestler, best known as the first Canadian wrestler to hold the WWF World Heavyweight Championship. Berras was born in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. In his early career, Ivan Koloff debuted as an Irish rogue villain character named Red McNulty, built from Dublin, Ireland, and wrestling with an eye patch. He debuted as the Russian Bear in 1967, a bearded villainous character built from Ukraine. His final match was against Bob Armstrong, in which Armstrong won on November 16, 2013, at Superstars of Wrestling 1 in Rome, Georgia. This was his last match after his passing on February 18, 2017. Both Zangief and Koloff legacy will live on for many years. I'm so glad that the Capcom team found inspiration in these wrestlers for their main character storyline. I can appreciate the details and time the Capcom team dedicated to create the Red Cyclone. This is an amazing version of the Muscle Spirit wielder. It would be fun to have this version of Zangief in Street Fighter 6. So what did you like about Mech Zangief? Let us know in the comments section down below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on new theories and info. Thank you for watching. This has been your Street Fighter host. Welcome to the Center Stage, our new Discord server. There you can talk with us, chat about current events going on in Street Fighter, information, theories, and lore. We'll leave the link in the description box below. We want to thank everyone for tuning in and becoming part of this Street Fighter community. We want to thank you for your positive comments towards our channel because it only habilitates us to grow even more. From the Street Fighterverse crew, we thank you.